Welcome back to NeoLearn. Dear friends, let us discuss Khalil Gibran's On Children. Khalil Gibran is a Lebanese American poet who brings out high philosophy of life in his simple and beautiful poetic essays. The Prophet is his best known work and has been translated into more than 25 languages. On Children is a selection of the prophet and is a critique of the usual expectations of parents about their children. It is rightly said that every child is born with a personality, his or her own likes and dislikes, dreams and desires. But sometimes parents forget the same and they interrupt the growth and development of the child. Khalil Gibran, through this poem, offers to guide parents on the essence of parenting with love, much against the mundane expectations. This poetic essay speaks about responsibilities, expectations, and happiness together. He offers ample evidences to understand the responsibilities in the poem. Every parent must offer independence, authority, and specially act like an entrance of the world of new opportunity to their children. Dedicating and even sacrificing his happiness and his present for the future of his children is the prime duty and responsibility of a parent, he says. Every human being expects one or the other thing in return to his contribution to someone. But parents must be away from this kind of mindset. They have to work and contribute to their children's future without any expectations, Khalil Gibran says. There is a message in the poem regarding happiness also. He offers a beautiful thought of keeping oneself happy by enjoying the struggle for life. He says that every parent must accept the realities and should not lose faith and even should not blame God or life for the difficulties. In this poem, a mother approaches the prophet to know about his perspectives on children. He captures and the attention in his shocking declaration: Your children are not your children. Your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself. They come through, they come through you, but not from you. And though they are with you, yet they belong not to you. That first line evokes a visceral response in most of parents who feel a biological, emotional, and spiritual instinct to care for our children. We choose to have them. We are conscientiously raising them, teaching them, loving them. What do you mean they are not our children? But of course, they are not. They do not belong to us. We do not own them. We have chosen to conceive them, but we did not choose who they are. They are the means by which they came into the world. But we did not design them. A force greater than ourselves. It might be a God, nature, life's longing for itself, whatever you want to call it. It is responsible for that. Not only are my kids not mine, but also let's think about our own mortality. It is our common human tendency that we purchase land and say it is ours. We earn currency notes and we say it is our money. But we forget that only the value of that currency note or that land is ours, not the currency note or the land which belong to the community. In the similar way, only that gathered moment, gathered happiness which is created by children is ours. In the next stanza, he says, You may give them your love, but not your thoughts, for they have their own thoughts. You may house their bodies, but not their soul, for their soul dwell in the house of tomorrow, which you cannot visit, not in your dreams. Khalil Gibran says, you may love a flower for its beauty, but you cannot expect the same feeling from that bird, from that beautiful flower. In the similar way, you can give unconditional love to them. It is your duty, but you do not expect anything from them. He says children live with their parents, but they do not belong to them. Parents may give their love to children and they should never force their ideas on children. Children have their own ideas and identities. Seriously, though this is so true. Children come with their own unique identity and their own unique part to play in this world. We cannot imagine what potential lies within them, and we certainly cannot imagine what their world will be like in the future also. In the next stanza, he says, you may strive to be like them, but seek not to make them like you. For life goes not backward nor tarries with yesterday. You are the bows from which your children as living arrows are sent forth. The archer sees the mark upon the path of infinite, and he bends you with his might that his arrows may go swift and far. Dear friends, we can care for them and offer them what we can, but we cannot make them think like us or believe like us. And we should not want to, because they will need different thoughts and beliefs to navigate a world we cannot foresee also. They are living in their own time just as we are. And they were created for their time, not ours. Parents understand this concept of time better than anybody. There is no halting time, and there is certainly no reversing it, no matter how much we might wish to do so. Time marches forward, and we all move forward with it. It is so tempting to want to make our mark on or through our children, but they have their lives and we have ours. They have their own destinies to fulfill and we have ours. Our destinies are interwoven, but they are not the same. Perhaps this is why parents say parenting does not get easier. The closer we are to sending our children out into the world, the further we have to bend. We get stretched to our limit, and before we know it, they are off. But the bending and stretching are very painful. He further says, let your bending in the archer's hand and be for gladness. For even as he loves the arrow that flies, so he loves also the bow that is stable. What a lovely reminder to find joy through the pain. Because we and our children are loved by the divine, and to be strong because our stability will help our children to fly. Our children, who are unique, individual human beings with whom we are only together for a spell. Our children, who will help move to the wheel of humanity a few feet farther than we will be able to see. Our children, who have their own destiny and their own purpose, separate and apart from our own. At the end, Khalil Gibran says, and he beautifully brings up the concept of life's creation and its aspiration. So, the advice here to parent is they shall not pressurize children with their thoughts. Parents are suggested rather to follow the ways of children than trying to change children to be like them. The prophet says that this is because life keeps moving forward and never retracts. He further substantiates his philosophy by making metaphorical references. Parents are compared to bows and children are compared to arrows. The archer God Himself sets His eyes on the target which is infinite and sends His arrows swift and far by bending the bow with His might. Parents should take delight in the act of bending that involves great strain. The prophet strikes a perfect conclusion by referring the law of creation, where God loves both the bow and arrow as they complement each other on life's infinite journey. Khalil Gibran stresses here the importance of children's individual views and independent ideologies not influenced by their parents. Dear friends, if every parent understands the thoughts of Khalil Gibran, the whole world will be free from any kind of parent children conflicts. Hope you have enjoyed. See you in the next video. Thank you.